My boss's favorite employee showed up late every day and bragged. Rules don't apply to me. When I reported it, he laughed and said, they'll never fire me. The next week, he strolled into work and froze as security blocked the door. His smirk vanished as HR handed him a final paycheck. Let me tell you about the time I watched my boss's golden boy crash and burn, and how I played a small but important part in making it happen. This all went down at a logistics firm in downtown Chicago, where I've worked for over a decade. Admin work. Boring to most, but I like the structure. The routine. The rules. The clear expectations. You show up on time, you do your job, and you go home. Nothing fancy. But rules only matter when they apply to everyone. The problem starts. 6 months ago, a new guy started in business development. Let's call him Zach. He was young, clean-cut, expensive shoes, talked way too loud, and thought he was God's gift to corporate America. First day, he shook hands with every manager on our floor and had a one-on-one lunch with our VP by noon. That should have been the first red flag. Most people take weeks to get their footing. Zach walked in like he already ran the place. But what stood out wasn't his confidence. It was how he just didn't care about the rules. None of them. We start work at 8:30 a.m. That's the policy. Everyone knows it. Every employee signs an agreement about it. There's a badge system at the front entrance, and the times are tracked. You're late? It's recorded. Zach never showed up before 9:30. Never. He came in like he was doing the company a favor. Coffee in hand, sometimes on his phone, laughing, joking, walking slow like he owned the hallway. Rules don't apply to me. At first, I figured maybe someone had told him he had a different schedule. Sometimes upper management lets certain people work flexible hours. But then I overheard him talking near the break room one day. Not quietly either. I don't care what time I come in. I bring in money. That's what matters. Another time. The rules don't apply to me. I'm not in payroll. I'm not pushing paper. And he'd laugh. Loudly. Every day was the same story. People were annoyed, but no one said anything. He was protected. The VP called him our young star. He bragged about that too. I watched coworkers get written up for being 5 minutes late in snowstorms. One woman had to leave early to pick up her sick kid and got a formal warning. Zach? Walking in 50 minutes late, grinning, like he was untouchable. His attitude got worse. Over time, he got more obnoxious. He'd cut into meetings late and act like he didn't miss anything. He'd walk into 10 a.m. meetings at 10:25, holding a smoothie, telling everyone to catch him up. Once, he actually said, "Sorry I'm late. Traffic sucks. But hey, I'm the reason we hit our Q3 target, so..." No one laughed. But no one corrected him either. One day, he was joking with another new hire and said, "They'll never fire me. You could slap a manager and still not get canned if you bring in enough revenue." He wasn't even whispering. That day, I made a choice. I was going to keep track. Just in case someone needed proof. The evidence file. I didn't go to HR right away. I've worked here long enough to know that HR won't act without a solid case. So I spent a month doing what I do best, organizing information. I had access to internal tools because of my role. Badge swipe data? Easy to export. Timestamps from the entry turnstiles? Logged every day. I started a spreadsheet. I logged his arrival time every day. I included screenshots from the internal security cams showing him walking in. These aren't high-tech cameras, but they show time, date, and entry points. Perfect for a simple pattern. I compared it to the attendance policy. I highlighted every infraction. 17 late arrivals in 22 workdays. None of them under 30 minutes. Then I started tracking what time his emails began each morning. You'd think someone working from home before arriving would be online. Nope. He was completely dark before 9:30. Nothing sent. No logins. I made it a clean file. Organized. Bullet points. Timestamps. Screenshots. Badge logs. Side by side with company policy. No opinions. Just facts. The trigger moment. Zach came in late as usual one Friday. He was laughing with another guy from his team. They were talking near the copier, and I heard him say, "I could roll in at 10 and they wouldn't say a thing. I'm untouchable." That was it. I finalized the file. I wrote a short cover note. "I wanted to bring this pattern to your attention. I believe it reflects ongoing violations of our employee conduct policy, specifically regarding time and attendance." I sent it anonymously to HR. Also CC'd the compliance team. I didn't expect fireworks. I honestly wasn't sure anything would come of it. But at least it was documented now. Strange silence. For a few days, nothing changed. Zach kept showing up late. Still smug. Still grinning. Still making those same annoying comments about how corporate rules are for drones. But I noticed something. One morning, I saw the HR director talking with the building security lead near the elevators. She had a printed folder in her hands. She wasn't smiling. Later that day, I passed by one of the floor directors talking quietly with one of the managers in a huddle. They both stopped talking when Zach walked by. Something was happening. I kept quiet. I didn't want to make any assumptions. But it felt like a shift in the air. Zach must have noticed it too. That week, he started coming in around 9:20 instead of his usual 9:45. Still late. But trying? They'll never fire me. The next Monday, I was grabbing coffee in the break room. Zach walked in, grinning like always. He was talking to two guys from marketing. He said this, I kid you not. Someone probably snitched about my hours. Doesn't matter. They'll never fire me. I know too much. I'm too valuable. They laughed, but it was nervous laughter. I stood there sipping my coffee, saying nothing. The next day, things changed. It was Wednesday morning, a few days after I sent the file. Zach came in late again, 9:35. But this time, he wasn't smiling. He looked around, scanning the room, checking who was watching him. That confidence he used to wear like cologne? It wasn't there. He went straight to his desk. No coffee stop. No jokes. Just silence. He stayed quiet most of the day. Barely spoke to anyone. I think he felt it. The shift. The quiet. Then, around 4 p.m., he got called into conference room B. That room is always used by HR when they want privacy. It's off the main hallway, away from the floor. He was in there for 47 minutes. He came out looking shaken. Pale. Eyes darting. No cocky walk, no slick hair adjustment. He went back to his desk, grabbed his phone, and left early. No explanation. The office buzz begins. People noticed. My inbox lit up with messages from coworkers I barely talked to. Did something happen with Zach? He looked pissed. He's not talking. Do you know anything? I didn't say a word. Not even to my work friend Chris, who sits right across from me and once helped me dig my car out of a snow pile. Because this wasn't just about Zach anymore. It was about the system. I knew if anyone figured out I sent the file, the blowback could fall on me. Zach tries to push back. The next day, he came in at 8:50 a.m., earliest he'd ever shown up since he started. Still late. But closer. He stayed in his seat all day. Didn't even take lunch. Just clicked through screens and tried to look busy. Then, at around 2 p.m., he walked straight into the VP's office and slammed the door. Not closed. Slammed. It stayed shut for over an hour. You could hear his voice through the glass. Not words. Just anger. The VP wasn't yelling back. Just calm replies. When he came out, he looked worse. Red face. Jaw clenched. He didn't stop to talk to anyone. He went straight to his desk, packed his laptop, and left. Again. No words. The twist. Now here's where it gets interesting. The next day, Zach didn't show up at all. Not at 8:30. Not at 9. Not even by lunch. Around 11, I saw the VP pacing near the windows, phone in hand. He looked frustrated. At noon, the VP sent out a mass email. Due to a sudden illness, Zach will be working remotely for the next few days. But we all knew that wasn't true. You don't yell in a VP's office and then get sick the next day. I did a quiet check of the badge logs that afternoon, habit at this point. No record of Zach's card swiping in. But something else was odd. His card access had been disabled. That's not something that happens unless someone's terminated. They're suspended. Or there's an investigation. HR keeps that stuff locked down tight. But I had friends. And one of them let something slip over lunch. Zach's been pulled into a compliance review. Boom. A closer look. Apparently, someone in HR reviewed the data I'd submitted and started looking closer at Zach's expense reports. Because guess what? When someone walks around like rules don't apply, it's never just the start time. They found inconsistencies. Meals charged for client lunches that didn't match his calendar. Rideshare charges during work hours, while he was supposedly at his desk. Even a few flagged receipts from a bar on a Tuesday afternoon. There were whispers that 2 contracts he claimed to have closed were under review, because there were no signed documents, no paper trail. Just his word. Suddenly, it wasn't just about showing up late. The VP starts to sweat. Now here's where it got really uncomfortable. The VP, Zach's mentor, started acting nervous. Talking to HR more. Having closed-door meetings. Skipping group check-ins. Because if it turned out that Zach had been cutting corners, or lying about deals, and the VP had vouched for him all this time, it would reflect on him, too. Managers were watching. Directors started sitting in on calls they used to ignore. Even the office gossip mill got quiet, like everyone was waiting. No one knew what was going to happen. Meanwhile, I stayed quiet. I didn't talk. I didn't post about it on the internal chat. I didn't mention it to a soul. I just did my job. Showed up at 8:25 like always. Ate my turkey sandwich. Answered my emails. But inside, I was watching everything. Then came the calendar invite. Monday morning, every employee on the floor received a mandatory calendar invite for Tuesday morning, all staff briefing. HR attendance required no details. No agenda. Just the title and 30 minutes blocked off. People started whispering again. Theories flew. Is there a layoff? Are they making changes to time tracking? Did someone get caught stealing? No one said Zach's name. But everyone was thinking it. I checked the badge logs again. Zach still hadn't returned. But I had a gut feeling. Tuesday morning was going to be the day. The entire floor gathered in the main conference room. This place holds about 60 people. It was packed wall to wall. Everyone was seated or standing along the back wall. The atmosphere? Tense. No side chatter. Just phones in hands and eyes glancing around. At 9:02 a.m., HR walked in. 3 of them. Including Melissa, the director, and the compliance officer. Notably, the VP wasn't there. That's when everyone really got quiet. Melissa cleared her throat and started with the usual HR speak. Thank you for coming. We want to address a recent review of conduct and reinforce some expectations. Then the compliance officer stepped forward. She doesn't usually talk in group settings, but this time she did. In the past month, our internal systems flagged a series of policy violations related to timekeeping, expense fraud, and false reporting of business activities. This has triggered a formal audit, which is ongoing. People shifted in their seats. Then she said it. The employee in question is no longer with the company, effective immediately. No name was given. But everyone knew. You could feel the realization roll across the room like a wave. Zach was gone. But that wasn't the twist. The VP was under review. That afternoon, a memo quietly went out from HR. Certain leadership-level employees are being temporarily reassigned pending completion of the audit. And just like that, the VP was gone too. No announcement. No goodbyes. Just an empty office and a locked Outlook calendar. Here's the thing, Zach hadn't been acting alone. During the audit, they discovered the VP had approved multiple shady expense reports without verifying them. A couple deals Zach claimed to close. Turns out, the VP helped fudge the numbers in the CRM system to make them look real. Why? Probably to boost their own team's quarterly performance. Maybe bonuses were involved. Maybe ego. But whatever the reason, they were both caught in it. The unexpected consequences. Now, here's where it gets even stranger. The internal audit pulled data from Zach's laptop, which had been remotely locked when his badge was disabled. Apparently, IT found more than expense fraud. They found emails, Slack messages, and draft documents where Zach trashed other coworkers, including sensitive client details shared inappropriately, and plans to pitch clients privately on the side, while still employed with us. Yes. He was trying to build a side consultancy, using our internal contacts, while working for us full-time. That discovery triggered a second investigation. People from legal came in that week. Suits. Laptops. No smiles. Another name dropped. A week later, another person was gone. This time? A senior sales analyst. She had been helping Zach with client data and getting a cut from referrals sent to his little side gig. They traced the emails. Some went back 3 months. She denied it until they showed her printed chat logs. By the time she packed up, her face looked like stone. People start talking to me differently. I hadn't told anyone what I did. I still haven't. But after the third person left, a few coworkers started treating me different. Chris from across the way asked me to lunch. He never does that. 2 others from marketing said things like, "You've always been the one who knows what's going on." Small compliments. Nothing direct. But I think people were guessing. Or hoping. HR had to get the info from somewhere. Last Friday, a new director was introduced for our division. She's external. No ties to anyone here. Her name's Dana, and she came in with a stack of notebooks, no small talk, and a line that made the room go quiet. We're going to be cleaning house. If you're doing good work, you've got nothing to worry about. But if you're cutting corners, start packing now. She stared down the room like a hawk. Zach's desk is still empty. They haven't reassigned it. No one touches it. The VP's office? Still locked. A note on the door reads, "Under review." And me? I'm still here. Still showing up at 8:25. Still doing my job. Still watching. And I'm not done yet. Because Zach wasn't the only one who thought the rules didn't apply. And now the others? They're sweating. After the new director, Dana, showed up, things changed fast. She started calling one-on-one meetings with department heads, auditing reports, pulling access logs, even reviewing old client records. The floor got tense. People were staying late, canceling vacations, whispering in corners. Everyone was paranoid. Especially our CFO, a guy named Russell. Mid-50s, been with the company longer than anyone else. Always wore suspenders. Always calm. But now, he looked shaken. The meeting that changed everything. About 2 weeks after Zach's firing, Dana called for another all-staff meeting. Friday, 4:30 p.m. Bad sign. We all filed into the conference room. This time, Dana had a folder in her hand and HR was behind her. No coffee. No jokes. Just silence. Dana didn't waste time. "We've uncovered irregularities involving falsified revenue, misclassified bonuses, and approval of fraudulent expense reports. This goes beyond one or two individuals. We now believe certain practices were encouraged and protected by someone at the top." She turned to Russell. "You want to speak before I do?" Russell stood up. Adjusted his suspenders. And for a second, I thought he might lie. But he didn't. The confession. He took a deep breath. "I vouched for Zach. And not just him. There were others. I didn't do it to help them, I did it to protect numbers. I didn't want to lose investors. I didn't want the board on my back. I knew the VP was letting things slide. I let him. I looked the other way." Someone gasped. "And when things got out of control," he added, "I told myself it was too late to fix it. That it'd cost too much to clean up. So I let it go." He sat back down. Dana didn't yell. She just nodded once. "Thank you for your honesty. Your resignation has been accepted, effective immediately." Russell stood. Picked up his bag. No words. Walked out. Silence followed. Then one woman, an account rep, started crying. Said she trusted him. Said he approved her promotion last year. Said now it felt like a lie. Chris, my work friend, muttered under his breath. "They all knew. They just thought we wouldn't notice." People started talking. Some angry. Some stunned. And one of Zach's old lunch buddies? He stood up and yelled. "Everyone's acting shocked, but you all laughed at his jokes. You let it slide. We all did." He stormed out. Private conversations. The office emptied slowly. People left in small groups, whispering. Later that night, Chris and I ended up at a bar 2 blocks from the office. We sat in silence for a while. "You sent the report, didn't you?" he finally asked. I didn't answer. "Good," he said. "Someone had to." He raised his glass. We didn't toast. Just drank. The week after, Dana stayed true to her word. In the following days, 3 more employees were let go, people who approved shady bonuses or padded reports. Several performance bonuses were frozen pending review. A compliance training series was launched, mandatory for all staff. The VP never came back. His name disappeared from the org chart. HR sent a company-wide email. "We acknowledge past failures. We are rebuilding our trust, together." The office is quieter now. People still show up on time. But no one laughs as loud. There's caution in the air. Like we're all waiting to see who'll fall next. As for me? I got a quiet email from HR, thanking me. No names mentioned. But I knew what it meant. And part of me felt good. Like I did something right. But another part? Felt tired. Not because I regret what I did. But because I saw how many people let it happen. Smart people. People I used to admire. They saw the lies. They looked the other way. What I learned. Revenge isn't always fire and fury. Sometimes it's slow. Quiet. Documented. And when it hits, it doesn't just take down the target. It exposes everything they were allowed to build. Would I do it again? Yes. Would I change anything? Maybe I would have done it sooner. Maybe I would have spoken up earlier, before more people got burned. But now I know, silence helps no one. Zach thought rules didn't apply. But the truth is, rules mean nothing until someone decides to enforce them. That someone? This time, it was me. And I'm not sorry.